following message has been transmitted by request from the Federal Bureau of Investigation Field Office in Springfield, Massachusetts. At around 7:07 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, a call to 911 was reported about a bank robbery at the TD Bank in Springfield. No description is available at this time, but the vehicle description is a 1987 Beretta Onyx colored with dark tinted windows and an amethyst-colored primer on the front passenger side door. Anyone within a 3-mile radius is to evacuate immediately. These suspects are posing a threat even outside of the bank. Take a battery-powered radio and tune to CPTV or 1640 FM on your radio dial for later statements on this dangerously developing story. We interrupt your programming on Nickelodeon to bring you an urgent news bulletin from the Federal Bureau of Investigation. This is a national emergency. Important instructions will follow. The following message has been transmitted by request of the Crime Stoppers Worcester Field Office. A confirmed description of the suspects has been released. One suspect is a Caucasian American male, late teens to early mid-20s, curly hair above the ears, Aztec tattoo above his right elbow, white tank top, scarlet gym shorts and Moonstone Reebok sneakers. The other suspect is an African American male, mid to late 20s, salt and pepper goatee, and was wearing a Reebok hoodie and jean shorts and a tattoo of a skull and crossbones. The third suspect was a Hispanic American early mid-30s and was wearing a forest green leather vest and orange and cerulean swim trunks. The suspects were armed with a snub-nosed .38 revolver, a Mac 11 machine gun with extra magazines, and a sting ball which works similar to a concussion grenade. The Federal Bureau of Investigation is still looking for critical information on who these suspects' identities are, and anyone within a 5-mile radius is to evacuate immediately for their own safety. Anyone with information on the identities of these suspects are to call Crime Stoppers Anonymous Hotline. Other agencies are involved also. They include the U.S. Marshal Service, the Bureau for Alcohol, Tobacco and Firearms, the Immigration Customs Enforcement, the Bureau of Prisons, and the Office of Inspector General are working with the Department of Justice to identify these suspects. All escape routes are closed down until further notice. This includes the airports and highways linking outside of the bank. Repeating again, all escape routes are closed until further notice. This includes all airports, and part of Exit 49, which includes State Route 75 Friendly's Diner and McDonald's. Stay away from these areas. All evacuation routes are being transferred to the states of New Hampshire and Vermont. These towns include the following in Vermont: Chester, Rutland, St. Albans, Bellows Falls, and in New Hampshire, Manchester, Bartlett, North Conway, Mount Washington, and Concord. Stay tuned to CPTV and 1640 FM on your radio dial for later statements on this dangerously developing story. We interrupt your programming for an urgent news bulletin. The suspects involved in the bank robbery have now been identified. The suspects involved in the holdup are Russell Richardson, age 20, Jacqueline McConnell, age 27, and Ernesto Diego Morales, age 37. Russell Richardson is confirmed to being the younger brother of Brandon RIchardson, who was killed by FBI agents after detonating nuclear weapons in Phoenix, Portland, Philadelphia, and Milwaukee. The other two suspects, Jacqueline McConnell and Ernesto Diego Morales, are wanted in connection with the exportation of crack cocaine and crystal methamphetamine worth $650,000. They are also involved in the enhancing of orders to organized crime. Anyone with information of their whereabouts are to call the Crime Stoppers Anonymous Hotline. We interrupt your programming. This is a national emergency. Important guidelines will follow. The following message has been transmitted by request from the United States Secret Service and the United States government. This is not a test. An attack against our country has been confirmed. The suspects are at a standstill with FBI agents. The suspects are threatening to detonate a warhead which is capable of demolishing 15 square miles of the crime scene. It has been confirmed that the suspects do indeed possess this explosive hazmat weapon and will detonate it if the demands are not met. Tune to CPTV and 1640 FM on your radio dial for later statements from FBI agents and media outlet officials. The suspects are barricaded near the Conrail freight yards, and will hurt themselves if the FBI agents get too close. Negotiations are being made to disarm the 3 bank robbers. Again, evacuate the areas immediately for your own safety. Do not attempt to negotiate with the suspects, as you are exposing yourself to fatal danger. All detours are closed off for the citizens' own safety. Do not approach the areas that are closed off. Violating the crime scenes by interfering through the closed-off segments of the highway will result in you being arrested. Repeating, do not approach the closed-off segments of the highway. If you are caught red-handed, you will be arrested. Law enforcement are helping citizens with other detours. Listen and cooperate with authorities on both local and federal levels. Your cooperation will save countless innocent lives. Stay on the planned escape routes and do not alter your evacuation procedures unless told otherwise. Stay tuned for updates on your radio dial-in station and this breaking news story develops. A sharpshooter is negotiating with the 3 bank robbers to surrender peacefully with FBI agents. So far, 2 of the suspects are fully cooperating. The other suspect has not complied with negotiations. Another sharpshooter has taken aim from one of the semis perched on the highway. His plan is to fatally shoot one of the gunmen. Stay tuned for updates on this news story as the story develops. Emergency update: one of the suspects, confirmed to being Ernesto Morales, has fully surrendered to FBI agents. The other 2 suspects, Russell Richardson and Jacqueline McConnell, are currently setting a timer to the fallout product. Anyone within a 35-mile radius is to evacuate immediately. Fallout shelters are being dispatched throughout the area. Fallout is a product of nuclear attacks. Prolonged exposure to fallout will result in certain death. Fallout spreads between 1 to 2 minutes after impact of detonation through large areas. Negotiations are being settled with the remaining 2 gunmen. All media outlets and citizens are advised to not negotiate with the gunmen as they are armed and dangerous. Stay tuned to CPTV and 1640 FM on your radio dial-in station for later statements from FBI agents. This is an emergency action notification. All broadcast stations shall transmit this emergency action notification message. This program has interrupted programming by request of the White House and United States government to provide assistance for assigned areas. This is CPTV. We will continue to serve the Connecticut and Massachusetts and Northeast New England areas. Do not use the telephones unless you are in dire need for critical emergencies. This is an emergency action notification. The emergency alert system has been activated. This is an emergency action termination. One of the 2 gunmen, confirmed to being Russell Richardson, has been fatally wounded by FBI agents. The fallout product has been disarmed at the crime scene. Jacqueline McConnell is now in federal custody as he faced unlawful flight avoid prosecution charged with bank robbery and second-degree murder charges. His partner is facing the same charges. The crisis for the public is now over. The suspects failed to detonate the product. All citizens, it is now safe to evacuate your fallout shelters and return to your homes. We thank you for your amazing cooperation during this egregious emergency. We will return to your channels for regular programming.